Relax and breathe gently. Close your eyes and let the outside world fade away. There is nowhere you need to go. There are no problems you need to solve. Right now, you are safe. You are still. You are home. Feel the gravity of the earth holding you, a gentle, ancient embrace that has kept you safe since the moment you were born. We have traveled to the stars, but tonight we return to the most mysterious planet of them all, our own world. A blue jewel floating in the silence, a world of deep oceans, whispering forests, and secrets buried in the stone. Let your mind drift over the mountains, across the seas, as we uncover the quiet mysteries of the earth. The heart of the planet, deep beneath your feet, thousands of miles down, lies the Earth's inner core. It is a solid sphere of iron and nickel, as hot as the surface of the sun. But here is the mystery. Despite the crushing heat, it remains solid because of the immense weight of the world pressing down on it. It spins slightly faster than the rest of the planet, a world within a world, turning silently in the dark, generating the magnetic field that protects us all while we sleep. The singing sands. In certain deserts around the world, from Mongolia to California, the dunes can sing. When the sand slides down the steep face of a dune, it creates a deep, low-frequency hum that sounds like a cello or a low-flying plane. Scientists believe the friction between specific grains of sand causes the air to vibrate, turning the desert into a massive natural instrument. It is a song that has been played by the wind for millions of years, heard only by the empty sky. The hidden continent. We are taught that there are 7 continents, but there is an 8th one hiding beneath the waves. Zealandia is a massive landmass, half the size of Australia, that sank into the ocean millions of years ago. Only its highest mountains remain above water, which we know today as New Zealand. It is a lost world, a sunken kingdom of fossils and ancient rocks resting silently in the deep blue dark of the Pacific. The Blood Falls of Antarctica. In the freezing white valleys of Antarctica, a glacier bleeds. A stark, bright red waterfall flows from the Taylor Glacier, staining the ice crimson. For decades, this was a mystery. We now know it is ancient, iron-rich saltwater that has been trapped beneath the ice for 2 million years. As it finally reaches the air, the iron rusts instantly, turning red. It is a time capsule from a prehistoric ocean, finally seeing the sun after an eternity in the dark. The bioluminescent bays. In Puerto Rico and other tropical shores, the water glows at night. This is not a reflection of the moon, but living light. Billions of microscopic organisms called dinoflagellates live in the water, and when they are disturbed by a splash or a wave, they flash with a bright blue neon light. If you were to swim there, your body would be outlined in glowing fire, trailing light through the dark water like a ghost moving through the stars. The moving stones of Death Valley. In a flat, dried-up lake bed in California, heavy rocks, some weighing hundreds of pounds, move across the ground on their own. They leave long, winding trails behind them in the mud, yet no one has ever seen them move. The mystery was finally solved when we realized that in freezing nights, thin sheets of ice form under the rocks. When the wind blows, The rocks slide effortlessly across the ice, skating silently in the darkness before the sun rises to melt the evidence. The hum of the Earth. Just like the solar system has a hum, our planet has its own song. Even when there are no earthquakes, the Earth creates a continuous low-frequency vibration known as the microseism. It is caused by the rhythmic pounding of ocean waves hitting the continental shelves all over the world. The ocean is constantly beating against the land like a drum, creating a lullaby that vibrates through the bedrock beneath your home every single night. The underground river of the Amazon. We know the Amazon is the largest river in the world, but scientists have discovered a ghost river flowing beneath it. Thousands of feet underground, the Hamza River flows slowly through the porous rock, mirroring the path of the Amazon above. It is wider than the river we see, moving silently in the crushing dark, carrying water from the Andes to the ocean without ever seeing the light of day. The Cave of Giant Crystals. Buried deep beneath a mountain in Mexico lies a cave filled with the largest crystals on Earth. These selenite pillars are as big as trees, some reaching 30 feet long and weighing 50 tons. The cave is incredibly hot and humid, a natural greenhouse that allowed these crystals to grow undisturbed for 500,000 years. It looks like a fortress of solitude, a palace of white glass hidden in the sweltering dark of the crust. The Rain of Fish. In the town of Yoro, Honduras, there is a phenomenon where fish arguably fall from the sky. Once a year, after a massive storm, the streets are found covered in small, living fish. While some believe they are swept up by waterspouts from the ocean, others think they live in underground rivers that flood and push them to the surface. It is a moment where the boundaries between the sky and the sea seem to dissolve, delivering life from the clouds. The Petrified Forest of Lesvos. On a Greek island, an entire forest stands frozen in stone. 20 million years ago, a volcano erupted and covered these trees in ash. Over centuries, the wood was replaced molecule by molecule with colorful minerals. Today, you can see the perfect details of the bark and rings, but the trees are made of solid opal and quartz. They are the ghosts of a prehistoric jungle, standing eternally silent in the sun. The Fairy Circles of Namibia. In the arid grasslands of Africa, millions of perfect circles appear in the dirt where no grass grows. They stretch for hundreds of miles, looking like polka dots on the landscape. Local legends say they are the footprints of gods. Scientists are still debating if they are caused by termites or by the plants competing for water. They remain a beautiful geometric mystery, a pattern stamped onto the wild earth. The everlasting lightning storm in Venezuela. Where the Catatumbo River meets Lake Maracaibo, a storm rages that almost never ends. For up to 300 nights a year, lightning flashes across the sky thousands of times an hour. It is the most electric place on Earth, acting as a natural lighthouse for sailors in the Caribbean. It is a permanent static charge, a storm that has been watching over the lake for centuries. The underwater waterfall. Off the coast of Mauritius, looking down from a plane, it appears that the entire island is being sucked down into a massive underwater drain. It looks like a waterfall flowing under the ocean. This is an optical illusion caused by sand and silt cascading off an underwater cliff. It creates a dramatic, beautiful vision of the ocean floor collapsing, a silent landslide in the deep turquoise water. The smell of rain. There is a specific, comforting smell that comes after a summer storm. It is called petrichor. It is not the smell of the water, but the smell of the earth itself. Plants secrete oils during dry periods, and when it rains, these oils are released into the air along with a compound called geosmin, created by soil bacteria. It is the scent of the ground waking up, a chemical signal that tells every living thing that water has returned. The Spotted Lake. In British Columbia, there is a lake that looks like a painter's palette. In the summer, the water evaporates, leaving behind hundreds of circular pools rich in minerals like magnesium and calcium. Each pool is a different color, yellow, green, or blue, depending on the Eye of the Sahara. Deep in the Sahara Desert of Mauritania, there is a massive geological structure that looks like a giant bullseye. Known as the Richat structure, it's 25 miles wide and visible from space. For years, scientists thought it was an impact crater from a meteor. We now know it is a deeply eroded geological dome, pushed up from the Earth and worn down by wind over millions of years. It sits alone in the vast sands, a giant blue and brown eye staring up at the cosmos. The Boiling River. In the Peruvian Amazon, there is a river that kills. The Shanai Tempishka is a tributary that flows at temperatures hot enough to boil any creature that falls in. The mystery is that this river is not near any active volcanoes. Scientists believe the water seeps deep underground, is heated by the Earth's geothermal energy, and then surges back to the surface through faults in the crust. It is a steaming, scalding vein of the Earth, flowing through the cool green jungle. The Eternal Flame Falls. Hidden behind a waterfall in Chestnut Ridge Park, New York, a small orange flame flickers constantly. It is fueled by a natural gas seep deep within the rock. While water cascades over the falls, the fire burns on, protected in a small grotto. It creates a stunning contrast of elements: fire living inside water, a fragile, ancient light that refuses to be extinguished by the rush of the river. The Silfra Fissure. In Iceland, you can swim between two continents. The Silfra Fissure is a crack in the earth where the North American and Eurasian tectonic plates are slowly pulling apart. The water here is filtered through underground lava rocks for decades, making it the clearest water on Earth. Divers say you can see for over 300 feet. It is a place of suspended gravity, where you float in the silent blue void between the old world and the new. The Morning Glory Clouds. In northern Australia, a rare meteorological phenomenon occurs in the sky. Massive tube-shaped clouds, up to 600 miles long, roll across the horizon like giant white pipes. These are the Morning Glory Clouds. They travel at 40 miles per hour, creating turbulence that gliders love to ride. They look like waves in the ocean of the air, perfectly formed cylinders tumbling over the outback. The Rainbow Mountains. In the Zhangye National Geopark in China, the mountains look like they were painted by hand. Stripes of red, yellow, and orange sandstone stretch across the peaks, formed by layers of mineral deposits pressed together over 24 million years. Wind and rain have carved the rock into smooth, flowing shapes, making the landscape look like a frozen, colorful ocean. It is a masterpiece of time, a vibrant canvas hiding in the remote, arid peaks. The Stone Forest. In Madagascar, there is a forest made not of trees, but of razor-sharp limestone needles. The Tsingy de Bemaraha is a labyrinth of vertical rocks rising hundreds of feet into the air. It was once a massive block of limestone under the sea, but as the water receded, rain dissolved the rock into these jagged towers. It is a fortress of stone, impenetrable and silent, where only the lemurs dare to jump between the spikes. The Great Blue Hole. Off the coast of Belize, there is a perfect dark blue circle in the middle of the turquoise sea. It is a massive underwater sinkhole, a cave that formed during the last ice age when sea levels were lower. When the ocean rose, the cave flooded and the roof collapsed, creating a vertical drop over 400 feet deep. It is a cathedral of the deep, filled with giant stalactites and the silent shadows of sharks circling in the gloom. The Muerka Boulders. In New Zealand, unusually large spherical boulders lie scattered in the sand. They look like giant dragon eggs or marbles left behind by giants. These are not ordinary rocks. They are concretions that formed an ancient sea mud 60 million years ago. Over time, the waves have washed away the soft cliffs, releasing these hard, perfect spheres onto the shore to rest in the surf. The Red Rain of Kerala. In the summer of 2001, the skies over Kerala, India, opened and rained blood. The water falling from the clouds was a deep, rusty red, staining clothes and turning puddles crimson. For a long time, it was a terrifying mystery. Eventually, scientists discovered that the rain was colored by millions of microscopic spores from a local algae. It was a biological storm, a moment where the microscopic world painted the landscape in the color of life. The Great Giant's Causeway. On the coast of Northern Ireland, 40,000 interlocking basalt columns step down into the sea. They are hexagonal, fitting together perfectly like a honeycomb pavement. Legend says they were built by a giant, but science tells us they were formed by cooling lava contracting and cracking with mathematical precision. They stand as a testament to the order of nature, a geometric road leading into the cold North Atlantic. The floating island of Roraima. Mount Roraima is a massive flat-topped mountain that straddles the borders of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana. It rises sharply from the rainforest, piercing the clouds like a giant ship. Because it has been isolated for millions of years, the summit is home to plants and animals found nowhere else on Earth. It is a lost world in the sky, a prehistoric island floating above a sea of clouds and jungle. The Nazca Lines. In the dusty plains of Peru, ancient people etched massive drawings into the earth that can only be fully seen from the sky. There are spiders, monkeys, and hummingbirds, some stretching hundreds of feet across. They were made by removing the red pebbles to reveal the white ground beneath. For 2,000 years, they have remained, preserved by the dry, windless climate. They are a message to the gods, a silent prayer carved into the skin of the planet. The Sargasso Sea. There is a sea in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean that has no shores. The Sargasso Sea is defined not by land, but by 4 ocean currents that swirl around it, trapping a vast mat of golden seaweed called sargassum. The water is calm, deep blue, and exceptionally clear. It is a golden raft in the open ocean, a nursery for eels and turtles, drifting forever in a slow, silent circle. The Marble Caves. In the middle of General Carrera Lake in Chile, water has carved a network of caves into solid marble. The walls are smooth and swirling with blue and white patterns, reflecting the turquoise water below. The light changes throughout the day, shifting the colors of the stone from deep navy to bright aquamarine. It is a sanctuary of stone and water, a polished cathedral hidden in the remote Andes. The Aurora Borealis. The Earth has a crown of light. When charged particles from the sun slam into our atmosphere, they are guided by the magnetic field to the poles, where they glow in greens, purples, and reds. We call them the northern lights. They are not solid. They are waving curtains of energy, a silent celestial dance that proves our planet is constantly interacting with the star that gives it life. The Magnetic Hill. In Ladakh, India, there is a stretch of road where gravity seems to fail. If you park your car and put it in neutral, it will appear to roll uphill against the laws of physics. It is a powerful optical illusion created by the surrounding landscape, where the horizon is obscured, tricking the brain into thinking a downhill slope is actually uphill. It is a glitch in our perception, a place where the eyes deceive the mind. The Waitomo Glowworm Caves. In New Zealand, you can drift on a boat into a cave that looks like the night sky. The ceiling is covered with thousands of Aracampa luminosa, a glowworm unique to the island. They dangle sticky silk. The Moaning Mountain. In the remote corners of Kazakhstan, there is a sand dune known as the Singing Barkhan. On dry days, the dune emits a low, vibrating groan that can be heard for miles. Unlike other singing sands, this mountain of sand stays in place even as the wind shifts. It sounds like a ghostly organ playing a single, eternal note. It is a massive, natural acoustic chamber resonating with the weight of millions of grains of sand rubbing together in the heat. The ice circles of Lake Baikal. Lake Baikal in Russia is the deepest and oldest lake on Earth. In the winter, mysterious giant rings, miles in diameter, appear in the thick ice. They are so large they can only be seen from space. Scientists believe that methane gas rises from the lake floor, creating warm eddies of water that thin the ice in a perfect circle. They are ghost rings, appearing and disappearing with the seasons, etched into the frozen surface of an ancient world. The underwater river of Cenote Angelita. In the Yucatan Peninsula, there is a secret hidden at the bottom of a deep sinkhole. If you dive down 100 feet, you will find what looks like a flowing river, complete with trees and fallen leaves. This is a thin layer of hydrogen sulfide that separates the fresh water above from the salt water below. It creates a surreal underwater landscape that looks like a misty forest at midnight, a river within the sea that never sees the light of day. The sailing stones of the racetrack playa. For decades, scientists were baffled by heavy stones that moved across the flat, dry lake bed of Death Valley, leaving long tracks behind them. No one ever saw them move. We now know that on rare, freezing nights, a thin sheet of window pane ice forms. As the sun rises and the ice begins to melt and break, even a light breeze can push the massive rocks across the slippery surface. They sail across the mud in the morning mist, moving silently while the world is still. The hum of Taos. In the small town of Taos, New Mexico, some residents have been haunted for years by a low-frequency hum. It sounds sounds like a distant diesel engine idling, yet no source has ever been found. Only a small percentage of the population can hear it, and it often grows louder indoors. Whether it is a geological phenomenon or a psychological mystery, the hum remains a persistent, invisible vibration in the quiet desert air. The moving forest of Reelfoot Lake. After a series of massive earthquakes in 1811, the Mississippi River actually flowed backward for several hours, creating Reelfoot Lake in Tennessee. Today, the lake is filled with ghost cypress trees that were submerged during the disaster. Their roots remain anchored in the mud deep below, while their trunks rise out of the water like ancient wooden sentinels. It is a landscape created in a single night of chaos, now resting in total silence. The blue holes of the Bahamas. Deep within the turquoise waters of the Bahamas lie dark, vertical caves called blue holes. They are time capsules from the Ice Age, containing stalactites that could only have formed when the caves were dry. Many of these holes contain unique species of bacteria and fossils of extinct animals preserved in the oxygen-free depths. They are portals to a prehistoric Earth, silent and cold, waiting in the deep blue dark. The door to the underworld. In the Siberian wilderness, a massive crater known as the Batagaika crater is growing every year. The locals call it the door to the underworld. As the permafrost melts, the ground collapses, revealing layers of earth that haven't seen the sun in 200,000 years. It is a wound in the earth that is whispering secrets of the ancient climate, a slow-motion collapse into the deep past. The floating mountains of Zhangjiajie. The towering sandstone pillars of Zhangjiajie look like they are floating in the air when the mist rolls in. These narrow spires, some rising over 3,000 feet, were formed by millions of years of water erosion. They are the inspiration for the world of Pandora, a landscape so vertical and gravity-defying that it feels like it belongs on another planet, rising silently through the clouds. The Mima Mounds. Across the grasslands of Washington state, there are thousands of mysterious, low-lying earth mounds called the Mima Mounds. They are perfectly spaced and uniform in shape. For over a century, scientists have debated their origin. Were they formed by ancient gophers, seismic vibrations, or flooding? They remain a geometric puzzle, a sea of grass-covered waves that have kept their secret for thousands of years. The blood moon phenomenon. During a total lunar eclipse, the moon does not go dark, it turns a deep, rusty red. This happens because the Earth's atmosphere bends the sunlight, filtering out the blue light and allowing only the red wavelengths to pass through and reflect off the lunar surface. It is the light of every sunrise and sunset on Earth, happening all at once, projected onto the moon. It is a celestial reflection of our world's beauty, cast into the deep dark of space. The Great Green Wall of Africa. High in the atmosphere above the Sahara, there is a mystery of dust. Every year, millions of tons of nutrient-rich dust are lifted by the wind and carried across the Atlantic Ocean. This dust eventually falls in the Amazon rainforest, providing the essential minerals that allow the jungle to grow. The driest place on Earth is responsible for feeding the wettest place on Earth. It is a silent, invisible bridge of life connecting two continents. The star-shaped sand of Hoshizuna-Dehama. On a small beach in Okinawa, Japan, the sand is not made of rocks, but of tiny, five-pointed stars. These are the discarded shells of microscopic marine organisms called foraminifera. When they die, their star-shaped skeletons wash ashore by the millions. It is a beach made of the ghosts of tiny stars, a microscopic galaxy lying beneath your feet as you walk along the shore. The underwater waterfall of Mauritius. Off the coast of Mauritius, there appears to be a massive waterfall flowing deep into the ocean floor. From above, it looks like a dramatic collapse into an abyss. In reality, it is a magnificent optical illusion created by sand and silt deposits sliding off an underwater plateau. It is a vision of the Earth falling away, a silent landslide occurring in the clear turquoise currents. The loneliest tree in the world. In the middle of the Southern Ocean on Campbell Island stands a single Sitka spruce. It is the only tree for 100 miles in any direction. Its closest neighbor is on the Auckland Islands, far across the freezing waves. It has stood alone for a century, enduring the fiercest winds on Earth. It is a monument to survival, a solitary green life in a world of gray water and stone. The Lake of 1,000 Islands. In Ontario, Canada, there is a stretch of the St. Lawrence River filled with over 1,800 islands. Some are large enough for small towns, while others are just big enough for a single tree and 2 shrubs. To be counted as an island, it must remain above water 365 days a year and support at least 1 living tree. It is a fragmented world, a jigsaw puzzle of land and water that stretches for miles in a peaceful, winding maze. The petrified lightning of fulgurites. When lightning strikes sand with immense heat, it instantly melts the silica into glass, creating a hollow, branching tube called a fulgurite. These are literally fossilized lightning, a physical record of a split-second electrical discharge. They are buried in the dunes of the world, delicate glass branches that capture the raw power of a storm and hold it in the earth forever. The glowing forest of Shikoku. During the rainy season in the forests of Japan, the forest floor begins to glow with a soft green light. This is caused by bioluminescent mushrooms called Mycena luxcoli. They grow on fallen logs using a chemical reaction to emit a faint. Far from the city lights, shortly before sunrise or after sunset, a faint, triangular glow can sometimes be seen stretching along the horizon. This is the zodiacal light, often called the false dawn. It is caused by sunlight reflecting off a massive cloud of dust that sits in the plane of our solar system. This dust is the debris of ancient comets and asteroids, a ghostly trail of crumbs left behind from the formation of the planets. It reminds us that space is not empty, but filled with the shimmering dust of 1 billion years of history. In the 1970s, 2 spacecraft, Pioneer 10 and Pioneer 11, were launched to explore the outer planets. As they headed into deep space, scientists noticed something strange. The crafts were being pulled back toward the sun slightly more than they should have been. For decades, this pioneer anomaly baffled physicists. Was our understanding of gravity wrong? Eventually, it was discovered that the heat from the spacecraft's own batteries was pushing them back, a tiny thermal ghost haunting our machines as they fled into the dark. Between Mars and Jupiter lies an asteroid named Psyche that is unlike almost anything else in the sky. While most asteroids are rock or ice, Psyche appears to be made almost entirely of metal, nickel, iron. Scientists believe Psyche might be the exposed core of a protoplanet that was smashed to pieces billions of years ago. It is a world of silver and gold, a naked heart of a planet that never got the chance to grow, drifting silently through the asteroid belt. On the boundary between a planet and a star sit the brown dwarfs. These objects are too big to be planets, but too small to ignite like stars. In their turbulent atmospheres, the weather is terrifying. Because they are so hot, minerals like iron and silicate don't just exist as rocks, they evaporate into clouds. This leads to a world where it literally rains molten iron and liquid sand. It is a heavy, metallic storm raging in the perpetual twilight of a world that couldn't quite become a sun. Jupiter's moon Io is the most volcanic world in the solar system. It is caught in a gravitational tug of war between Jupiter and the other large moons, which stretches and squeezes Io's interior. This tidal heating creates so much energy that the moon is constantly erupting. Giant plumes of sulfur reach hundreds of miles into space, and the surface is constantly being paved over with fresh lava. Io is a world in pain, a moon that is literally turning itself inside out every few thousand years. We often think of Earth's magnetic field as a simple bubble, but the solar wind blows against it, stretching it out into a long, invisible ribbon called the magnetotail. This tail stretches far past the orbit of the moon. Once a month, the moon passes through this tail, which can cause dust storms on the lunar surface as static electricity builds up. We are protected by an invisible, glowing cape of magnetism that dances in the solar wind, shielding us while we sleep. Our planet's north and south poles are not permanent. Every few 100,000 years, Earth's magnetic field weakens and then completely flips. North becomes south, and south becomes north. We can see evidence of this reversal locked in the rocks of the ocean floor. While we are currently overdue for a flip, the process takes thousands of years. It is a slow, silent shifting of the very foundations of our world, a reminder that even the Earth's heart changes with time. On Saturn's moon Titan, the dunes are not made of silicon or rock. Instead, they are made of tholins, complex organic molecules that form in the atmosphere and fall to the ground like dark plastic soot. These grains are light and fluffy, and because Titan has low gravity and a thick atmosphere, the wind sculpts them into gargantuan structures. To walk on Titan would be like walking through a desert of dark, frozen coffee grounds beneath a sky of deep orange haze. Across the face of the moon, there are mysterious, curvy patterns of light and dark soil, known as lunar swirls. They look like cream stirred into coffee. These swirls are always found in areas with localized magnetic fields. These magnetic umbrellas protect the soil from the solar wind, preventing it from darkening over time. They are the fingerprints of an ancient magnetic past, ghostly patterns etched into the dust that have remained unchanged for millions of years. On Mars, there is a canyon so large it makes the Grand Canyon look like a tiny crack. Valles Marineris is 4 miles deep and stretches for nearly 3,000 miles, long enough to span the entire United States. We still don't know exactly how it formed. It wasn't carved by water, but likely by the planet's crust tearing itself apart as the nearby Tharsis volcanoes grew. It is a giant scar on the face of the red planet, a silent abyss where the shadows linger long after the sun has set. The sulfur skies of Uranus. When we think of the giant planets, we often imagine them as odorless voids. But Uranus has a distinct and pungent secret. Its upper atmosphere is filled with clouds of hydrogen sulfide, the same molecule that gives rotten eggs their sulfurous smell. These clouds create a thick, teal-colored haze that traps heat and masks the deeper layers of the planet. To descend into Uranus is to enter a dark, smelling fog that eventually becomes so thick and pressurized that the gas turns into a hot, soupy liquid. It is a world of beautiful colors, but a harsh chemical reality. The supersonic winds of Neptune. Neptune is the most distant major planet from the Sun, receiving very little solar energy, yet it possesses the most violent weather in the solar system. Winds on Neptune can reach speeds of 1,200 miles per hour, faster than the speed of sound on Earth. We still don't fully understand what powers these supersonic storms. Without the heat of the sun to drive the atmosphere, some believe the energy comes from deep within the planet's core. It is a dark blue world where the very air moves with the force of a fighter jet. The comet that fell into a giant. In 1994, the world watched as comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 was torn apart by Jupiter's gravity and slammed into the gas giant. The impacts created massive, dark scars in Jupiter's atmosphere that were visible for months. This event taught us that Jupiter acts as a cosmic vacuum cleaner, protecting the inner planets by sucking in dangerous comets and asteroids. It makes one wonder how many times Jupiter has saved the Earth from a similar fate, while we slept safely in our beds millions of miles away. The Eris Enigma. Far out in the scattered disk, beyond even the orbit of Pluto, lies Eris. This dwarf planet is nearly the same size as Pluto, but much more massive. Its discovery caused a crisis in the scientific world, eventually leading to the demotion of Pluto. Eris is so far away that it takes 557 years to complete a single trip around the sun. It is a frozen, lonely world covered in a layer of methane ice that reflects light like fresh snow. It sits at the edge of the sun's reach, a silent sentinel in the eternal cold. The scent of the stars. Astronauts returning from spacewalks have often reported a peculiar mystery. Space has a smell. When they re-enter the airlock and take off their helmets, they describe a scent that lingers on their suits. Some say it smells like seared steak, others like hot metal or the ozone of a lightning storm. This scent of the stars is likely caused by high-energy vibrations and particles that cling to the fabric of the suits. Even the void, it seems, has its own metallic, burnt signature that it leaves on those who dare to enter it. The edge of the sun's wind. Our solar system exists inside a giant bubble called the heliosphere, created by the wind of particles blowing off the sun. But there is a boundary where this wind finally stops and gets tired. This is the heliopause. Beyond this line, the wind of other stars begins to take over. When the Voyager spacecraft finally crossed this threshold, they entered true interstellar space. We are living in a tiny pocket of sun-drenched warmth, surrounded by a vast, cold ocean of ancient starlight that stretches forever. The vanishing atmosphere of Makemake. Makemake is a dwarf planet in the Kuiper Belt that behaves like a ghost. It is covered in such pure ice that it shines brightly in the dark, but it seems to have an atmosphere that only exists half the time. When Makemake is closest to the sun, its ices turn into gas, creating a thin, temporary atmosphere. As it drifts further away into the cold, the atmosphere freezes and falls back to the surface as frost. It is a world that breathes only once every few centuries, then holds its breath for the rest of time. The reign of the rings. Saturn's magnificent rings are not permanent. Recent data shows that the planet is slowly eating its own rings through a process called ring rain. Magnetic fields pull the icy particles down into the atmosphere, where they vaporize and fall as a constant, dusty rain. In about 100 million years, a blink of an eye in cosmic time, Saturn's rings will be completely gone. We are incredibly lucky to live in the brief window of history where the jewel of the solar system still wears its crown. The Martian blueberries. Scattered across the surface of Mars are millions of tiny gray spheres that look exactly like blueberries. These blueberries are actually hematite concretions, and on Earth, such shapes are almost always formed in the presence of liquid water. They are the tiny, hard evidence of a wet and soggy past on the planet that is now a frozen desert. They sit in the dust like marbles left behind by a vanished child, waiting for us to figure out the full story of the water that created them. The interstellar visitor Oumuamua. In 2017, a strange cigar-shaped object named Oumuamua zipped through our solar system. It didn't behave like any asteroid or comet we had ever seen. It was tumbling wildly, and as it left, it actually sped up without releasing any gas. Some wondered if it was a piece of alien technology, while others believe it was a shard of a shredded planet from another star. It came from the dark, gave us a glimpse of the unknown, and vanished back into the void before we could ever truly see it. The Borisov Traveler. Shortly after the mystery of Oumuamua, a second interstellar visitor arrived in our system, Comet Borisov. Unlike its predecessor, Borisov looked very much like the comets we see from our own sun, complete with a tail of dust and gas. However, its chemistry was slightly different, containing much more carbon monoxide than local comets. It was a messenger from another star system, a piece of a distant world that survived a journey of millions of years through the empty dark. It reminds us that our solar system is not a closed room, but a house with open windows, letting in travelers from the galaxy beyond. The rugged far side of the moon. We always see the same face of the moon, a landscape of dark, flat plains called Maria. But when we finally saw the far side, the side we never see from Earth, we were stunned. It looks nothing like the near side. It is rugged, mountaineering, and almost completely lacks the large, dark plains we are familiar with. Why are the two sides so different? Some believe the Earth's heat long ago prevented the near side from cooling as quickly, while others suggest a second, smaller moon once crashed into the far side, coating it in a thick layer of highlands. The deep caves of Mars. Orbital cameras have spotted something chilling on the slopes of Martian volcanoes, perfectly circular, pitch-black holes that appear to lead straight down into the crust. These are the entrances to lava tubes, vast underground caverns formed by ancient volcanic flows. These caves are mysteries waiting to be explored. Because they are shielded from the sun's radiation and the planet's extreme weather, they might be the perfect place for future explorers to live, or perhaps the last place where ancient Martian life still clings to existence in the dark. The ghostly clouds of Jupiter. Jupiter is famous for its colorful bands, but there are certain clouds that behave like ghosts. These are pop-up clouds, bright, small plumes that appear suddenly in the upper atmosphere and then vanish within hours. They are composed of ammonia ice and seem to be powered by intense lightning storms deep below. They are the fleeting signatures of a planet that is constantly boiling with energy, a world where the weather is so fast and violent that even the clouds themselves are just temporary visitors in the sky. The invisible rings of Uranus. While Saturn's rings are made of bright, reflective ice, the rings of Uranus are made of something much darker, perhaps organic material that has been charred by radiation. They are so dark that we didn't even know they existed until they passed in front of a distant star and blocked its light. There are 13 known rings, narrow and sharp-edged, cutting through the teal darkness like ribbons of charcoal. They are the shadow rings, a subtle and mysterious crown for a planet that prefers to keep its secrets in the dark. The red arcs of Tethys. Tethys is a bright, icy moon of Saturn, but its surface is marked by a strange and colorful riddle. Long, narrow red streaks, resembling blood-red brushstrokes, arc across its frozen face. These streaks don't follow the craters or the mountains. They seem to be painted on top of the terrain. Some think they are the result of chemical impurities being released from the ice, while others wonder if they are debris from another moon that fell onto Tethys. They remain a vivid, scarlet mystery in a world of white and gray. The Great Filter. As we look through our telescopes at the 100 mysteries of our solar system, we eventually encounter the greatest mystery of all, the silence. If our system is so filled with the building blocks of life, water on Europa, organics on Titan, a wet past on Mars, then why haven't we found life yet? This is the Great Filter. Is life so rare that we are truly alone? Or is there a barrier that prevents life from lasting long enough to be found? The silence of the stars is the most profound mystery we have ever faced. The acceleration of the solar wind. We know that the solar wind, a stream of charged particles, blows off the sun at millions of miles per hour, but there is a mystery in how it moves. As the wind moves further away from the sun, it actually speeds up. Something is giving these particles a second kick of energy as they leave the solar corona. Scientists are using probes to touch the sun and find the source of this extra speed, searching for the invisible magnetic hands that push the wind out into the abyss. Earth's ghost moons. Earth doesn't just have one moon, it often captures many moons. These are small asteroids that get caught in Earth's gravity and orbit us for a few months or years before being flung back out into space. Some are no bigger than a car, while others are the size of a house. They are our temporary companions of our world, silent hitchhikers that join us on our journey around the sun before vanishing back into the velvet black, never to be seen again. The doom of Phobos. Mars's largest moon, Phobos, is living on borrowed time. It orbits so close to Mars that the planet's gravity is slowly pulling it inward at a rate of 6 feet every century. Within 50 million years, Phobos will either crash into the Martian surface or be shredded into a beautiful, dusty ring around the red planet. It is a moon on a death march, a jagged rock that is doomed to be destroyed by the very world it serves. The escape of Deimos. While the moon Phobos is falling toward Mars, its smaller sibling, Deimos, is doing the exact opposite. Deimos is slowly drifting away from the red planet, spiraling outward into the dark. Eventually, millions of years from now, Deimos will break free from Mars's gravitational grip entirely and become a lonely asteroid once more, wandering the solar system without a home. It is a slow-motion goodbye, a silent parting of ways between a planet and its tiny, jagged companion. The Diamond Star. Far beyond the reaches of our sun lie the remnants of dead stars known as white dwarfs. Astronomers have discovered that as these stars cool, their carbon interiors can crystallize into giant, planet-sized diamonds. One such star, nicknamed Lucy, is a diamond 10 billion trillion carats in size. While we cannot reach it, it serves as a reminder that the universe is a master of alchemy, turning the remains of ancient fire into the most precious of jewels in the cold of space. The ice on Mercury. Mercury is a world of fire, with daytime temperatures reaching 800 degrees Fahrenheit. Yet, in the deep craters at its poles, where the sun never shines, there is a mystery: literal water ice. These craters act as cold traps, preserving water that may have been delivered by comets billions of years ago. In a place where the sun is a giant searing eye, these pockets of frozen water remain a chilling paradox, huddling in the permanent shadows of the innermost planet. The metallic snow of Venus. High atop the mountains of Venus, the atmosphere creates a weather phenomenon that seems like science fiction. Because the air is so heavy and hot, certain metals like lead and bismuth can evaporate into the sky. When they reach the cooler altitudes of the mountaintops, they condense and fall as metallic snow, coating the peaks in a shiny, reflective frost. It is a world where the very mountains are plated in metal, shimmering beneath a sky of thick, sulfuric clouds. The tumble of Nix and Hydra. Pluto has 5 moons, but 2 of them, Nix and Hydra, are particularly chaotic. Because they orbit a double planet system of Pluto and its large moon Charon, the gravity is constantly shifting. This causes Nix and Hydra to tumble and flip unpredictably as they move. If you lived on one of these moons, you would never know where the sun was going to rise, or even which direction was up. It is a world of total disorientation, dancing to the rhythm of a gravitational chaos. The long orbit of Sedna. Deep in the outer reaches of the solar system sits Sedna, a mysterious reddish world that takes 11,000 years to complete just one orbit around the sun. When Sedna was last in its current position, humans were just beginning to develop agriculture. It spends most of its life in the far-flung reaches of space, where the sun is nothing more than a particularly bright star. Why it has such a long, eccentric path remains a mystery. Perhaps it was pulled by a passing star long ago. The snowman of the Kuiper Belt. When the New Horizons probe flew past an object called Arrokoth, it found something that looked like a giant flattened snowman. Arrokoth is made of 2 distinct lobes that were once separate objects before they gently touched and fused together. This contact binary is a pristine relic from the very beginning of the solar system. It shows us how planets began to form, not through violent collisions, but through a slow, gentle embrace in the cold, quiet dark of the outer belt. The magnetic pole flip. Our planet's magnetic field is a shield that protects us from solar radiation, but it is not a permanent fixture. Every few 100,000 years, the north and south magnetic poles decide to trade creases. We are currently overdue for such a reversal. During the flip, the magnetic field weakens significantly, which could leave us vulnerable to solar storms. It is a silent planetary transformation that has happened hundreds of times in Earth's history, and it will happen again. The space roar. In 2006, NASA sent a balloon-borne instrument high into the atmosphere to look for signals from the first stars. Instead, it detected a mysterious booming radio signal that was 6 times louder than expected. This space roar comes from all directions and doesn't seem to belong to any known stars or galaxies. It is a loud, static-filled mystery that drowns out the whispers of the early universe, a cosmic noise that we still cannot explain. The glowing crowns of Saturn. Like Earth, Saturn has auroras at its poles, but they behave very differently. Saturn's auroras are powered not just by the solar wind, but by the planet's incredibly fast rotation and its interaction with its many moons. These glowing crowns of ultraviolet light can tower over 1,000 miles above the clouds. They are the silent electric ghosts of the giant, dancing in a magnetic rhythm that we are only just beginning to decode. The water ice on Psyche. The asteroid Psyche is widely known as a world of metal, a massive floating core of iron and nickel. However, recent observations have detected something that shouldn't be there: hydroxyl molecules, which suggest the presence of water ice or hydrated minerals on its surface. How can a metallic world, once the molten heart of a planet, hold on to water? It is possible that water-rich asteroids have been painting the surface of Psyche through collisions for billions of years, leaving icy scars on a body of cold, hard steel. The seasonal breath of Mars. Every year, as Mars travels around the sun, its polar caps undergo a dramatic transformation. These caps are made of a mix of water ice and dry ice, or frozen carbon dioxide. During the Martian winter, the ice grows, extending halfway to the equator. As spring arrives, the ice turns directly back into gas, increasing the pressure of the entire atmosphere. It is as if the planet is physically breathing, inhaling in the winter and exhaling in the summer, a rhythmic pulse of gas and frost that defines the Martian year. The Moon's magnetic umbrella. The Moon lacks a global magnetic field like Earth, but it possesses crustal anomalies, small, localized patches of magnetism scattered across its surface. These act like tiny umbrellas, shielding specific patches of lunar soil from the solar wind. Inside these umbrellas, the soil remains light and pristine, while the surrounding areas are darkened by radiation. They are the invisible remnants of a time when the Moon had a molten core and a shield of its own, ghosts of a magnetic power that died billions of years ago. The solar tsunami. When the sun experiences a massive eruption called a coronal mass ejection, it can trigger a Moreton wave, a literal tsunami of hot plasma and magnetism that ripples across the sun's surface. These waves travel at nearly 1,000,000 miles per hour and can reach heights of 60,000 miles. They are gargantuan walls of fire that flatten everything in their path, a reminder that the sun is not just a light in the sky, but a violent and restless ocean of energy that we are only beginning to understand. The disappearing spot of Neptune. In 1989, Voyager 2 discovered the Great Dark Spot on Neptune, a storm large enough to swallow the Earth. But when the Hubble telescope looked for it again a few years later, it was gone. Since then, new spots have appeared and vanished. Unlike Jupiter's Great Red Spot, which has lasted for centuries, Neptune's storms are fleeting and mysterious. They appear from the blue depths, rage for a few years, and then dissolve back into the abyss, leaving no trace behind. The liquid mirror of the moon. Astronomers have proposed a mystery for the future, a telescope on the moon made of a spinning pool of liquid mercury. Because the moon is so still and has no atmosphere, a liquid mirror could capture light from the very first stars born after the Big Bang. It would be a silver eye on a gray world, reflecting the origins of time itself. It remains a dream for now, a silent, reflective pool waiting for a time when we can finally build it in the lunar silence. The ghostly rings of Jupiter. Everyone knows the rings of Saturn, but Jupiter has a ring system too. It's just nearly invisible, made of fine dust kicked off by its inner moons during meteorite impacts. These rings are so thin that they can only be seen when the sun shines through them from behind. They are the ghost rings, a faint and dusty secret that reminds us that even the most powerful giants have subtle, delicate features that require the right light to be seen. The interplanetary dust. Every day, as Earth moves through space, it sweeps up about 100 tons of cosmic dust. This dust comes from comets shedding their tails and asteroids grinding against one another. It falls through our atmosphere as micrometeorites, landing on our roofs, in our hair, and in our oceans. We are constantly being covered in the debris of the solar system, a fine layer of star stuff that connects us to the violent history of the planets. The pale blue dot. From the edge of the solar system, Earth is nothing more than a tiny pale blue dot suspended in a sunbeam. This image is the greatest mystery of all. How a speck of dust in a vast, dark cathedral can hold every person you've ever loved, every war ever fought, and every dream ever dreamt. It is a fragile, beautiful coincidence, a blue jewel in a velvet black box floating in a silence so vast it is almost beyond our comprehension. The ultimate end. The final mystery of our solar system is how it will end. Billions of years from now, the sun will grow into a red giant, swallowing the inner planets and leaving the outer worlds frozen in a new, dark reality. Eventually, it will fade into a white dwarf, and the planets that remain will drift in a cold, eternal twilight. It is a journey that began in fire and will end in silence. A long, beautiful story of which we are a tiny, precious part.